Caleb's going to be a Bear. The Bears are going to take him, and he is not gaming the draft to try and change that. That
Correct.
said, my phone was blowing up all weekend long, Robert, that Jayden Daniels might be doing exactly that with the Washington Commanders because of a whole host of things about he's got a history with Antonio Pierce, or he might be more comfortable with Minnesota, and then whatever the prospect palooza that Washington had with 22 prospects last week kind of turned him off. Again, none of that's coming from him. That's all rumor and conjecture that I place in front of you, since you were a Heisman Trophy winning second overall selection of this franchise, albeit completely different management. So I ask you, what do you think of when you hear this conversation involving Jayden Daniels, Robert?
Yeah, Rich, I really believe what you just mentioned about me being the second pick and a different organization. I think that there's a little bit of a trickle-down effect that's impacting some of the decisions that Adam Peters and Josh Harris and Dan Quinn are making. When I heard about the 22 prospects going in there, I immediately thought back to where did Adam Peters come from? He came from San Francisco. What did San Francisco just deal with just 2 years ago? They had a highly drafted quarterback in the first round, and they had the last pick in the draft that they picked with Brock Purdy. Now, Trey Lance, in all fairness to him, he didn't get a chance to play because he was hurt a bunch, right? And didn't even really get a chance to show that he could be that guy. But Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. He was a guy's guy. The whole team gravitated towards him. And I feel like Adam Peters was just trying to get a sense, which one of these quarterbacks do the guys gravitate towards? Because outside of Caleb Williams, all these guys are really, really similar and really close in their ability. If I lined them all up, they could all throw a 10-yard out on the money, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But which one of them is going to accept the challenge and be the alpha of the alphas in the room? And I think that's what they were trying to find. And I think because there's been so much negativity towards the Washington franchise, everyone kind of looks at them with a side eye, like, what are they doing? What are they doing? But what I would say is that the highlights are on the film, Rich, but the character isn't. And the organization in Washington is just trying to find the right character guys to build a team around. And I actually applaud them for that, because character has not been something that the team has really been associated with for the past 20 years. So I want fans to understand, if you create a negative environment for a guy like Jayden Daniels coming in, it's only going to breed more negativity once he's drafted. I hope they just give these guys a clean slate. Whoever Washington decides to take is their decision. It's who they believe in. I want that for them, right? The situation with me and Kirk Cousins in Washington in 2012 was a situation where the owner and the head coach were fighting against each other. You don't want that to be repeated. So whoever they believe in, go draft that guy. Let the other guys go to the teams that absolutely want them, and I think everything will be clear sailing. I just believe, Rich, that Jayden is the best guy for them.
He is. You think so? Well, and interesting also what you read and you hear, and again, thus conjecture. I'll place it before you because we always talk straight up. There's an injury concern because he takes hits, because he runs the ball, and a lot of the residual thoughts are involving you and what happened with you. And how that, I know you're talking about echoes of Adam Peters in San Francisco because he took Lance high up, but he's used a quarterback taken last in the draft. There's a lot of conversation that what happened with you is having a residual effect, even though most of those people are gone. How do you respond when you hear that?
Yeah, and Rich, I love the fact that you asked me that question, because I do feel like a lot of people are afraid to ask that. Like, I'm a big boy. I went through my whole NFL experience, and a lot of people have been kind of echoing that they're afraid of Jayden Daniels because he reminds them of me. And what I would say is I think Jayden Daniels is better than I was coming out of college, just for point blank period. And I also believe that all of the quarterbacks in this draft class, they're all athletic guys. Like, the new prototypical NFL quarterback is what you see. It's Jayden Daniels. It's Drake May. It's J.J. McCarthy. It's Caleb Williams. These guys are all athletic. They all extend plays. They all have put themselves in harm's way at times to make a play for their team. So don't use what happened to me against Jayden Daniels. I know Washington fans would love to have a 2012 year. They would love to bring that back. So just enjoy what you have in front of you. All of these guys are going to be at risk. The quarterback position is not like the safest position in the world. No matter how many rules the NFL tries to implement, guys still get hurt, right? Joe Burrow has been hurt a bunch, and he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So just focus on what these guys can do. Don't worry about what happened in the past. Don't worry about repeating mistakes, because the only similarity between me and Jayden Daniels that's not a similarity between myself and the other guys is the fact that he's black. Like, come on. Him and Drake May are essentially the same quarterback. Jayden's more experienced, and he's a better player right now. Take him. He helps you win today. 5 years from now, whenever, 10 years from now, he is the best quarterback for the Commanders if Caleb Williams is not there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.